You know what's funny? I'm going to show you something that no one's seen. So we still have a group chat, right? Called, hold on, Lineup 2025.
Five
Still speak,
members.
and there's only 5 of us now, but we still speak every single day in this WhatsApp group chat.
Ewan, thanks for talking to me. This is my first time ever doing this, so
No,
anybody who's watching this, I apologize ahead of time,
no problem.
But yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate. I just wanna kind of go down a memory lane with you because
Sure.
I've been learning a lot, about the football community on YouTube and overall online. So kind of want to get your take on it because I'm still kind of learning things, filling up the gaps.
Of
So
course.
I'll let you introduce you first, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. My name's Ewan, or EABskills. I've been creating content under the name of EABskills for 12 plus years now, so a long, long time. My roots are in football freestyle, so I am a football freestyler, professional football freestyler. I've performed all over the world, at World Cups, different things like that. But I also create just football content online as well. So football skills, wholesome football content, football kind of match day stadium stuff, football card collectibles content. I mean, memorabilia stuff, as you can see. It's all kind of encompassing of football, but yeah, my roots are in football freestyle, so a lot of the older people know me just from that, and then nowadays a lot of the younger generation know me more for collectibles, cards, and football stadium stuff.
Well, let's start with your YouTube channel. You've been, I think it was 2013, right, when you started this channel, EABskills.
Yeah,
Uh, like what? Tell me, like, what came? Who inspired you? What was your kind of idea for starting the channel in the first place?
yeah, sure. So there was at that period of time there wasn't a huge amount of, I guess, inspirations. It was people who I don't know, who they weren't like just football creators. They were just creators of everything, and some of them were just dabbling into the football content. Some of them were making more comedy stuff, things like that. And there was a couple of people who I really, really enjoyed. People like STR Skill School, Free Kickers back in the day. Those type of people, like footballers myself, I'd look up to. Your Ronaldinho's. I see you wearing an AC Milan shirt, obviously. Ronaldinho, Kaká, same as AC Milan. I was a big fan of these type of players, and I'd always had a real kind of intrigue around cameras and editing and putting together little movies. So I just thought I'd start a channel, and I think also it was to document my kind of progress with learning freestyle as well. So that's kind of how I got. And to be honest, I just started posting like Facebook videos originally, and then they moved over to YouTube as well. But it was more
Okay.
to show off to my friends, like I can do it around the world. At that time, it was like a thing where if you could do it around the world, you kind of had some, I guess, kind of street cred at school. So you kind of got put into, the kind of popular kids if you could do it and around the world. And then I started with around the world and just started to do more and more skills, and that was then documented on my YouTube channel. But I've only really, I guess, majorly focused on the YouTube channel kind of over the last couple of years, where I'm really trying to put more effort into it, because I'd kind of started on YouTube but then moved quite quickly over to like Instagram or TikTok, and things like that. So yeah, but it's been a long journey so far, but I feel like I've only just really started it, which is cool.
I know you said you kind of got into like freestyle and was your first kind of love overall. What inspired you like freestyling in the first place? Was it just drop some names, maybe like some pros,
Yeah, of course.
some YouTube guys, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I went to Brazilian soccer school. So that was between the ages of about 7 till about 10 years old. It was football camps that were literally made to create players to be more skillful and to enjoy the beautiful game. We didn't used to go and learn you know, how to play in 11-a-side games, but it was you'd learn how to do like the Maradona 7, or you know, the Zidane roulette, things like this. So you'd be taught actual skills as opposed to like this is how you play an 11-a-side game, and that was just amazing to me. I thought that was incredible, and then at the same time, you kind of FIFA series came out as well on games. So I was so obsessed with FIFA Street 2. I still play it to this day on emulators, so I absolutely love it so much. And I think a combination of those two things, and like I said, players like your Kakas, Ronaldinho's, they've really kind of just even like Rivaldo and Adriano and Brazilian Ronaldo, these type of players who they showed so much. They were very good footballers, but they showed so much on the pitch. They got you off your seat. They, you know, I never wanted to miss like a Barcelona game or a Real Madrid game, because in the UK they were always on a Sunday night on Sky Sports. So I'd always try and watch those games to see your players like your Robinhos as well and Kakas, and like I said, so that was kind of all the inspirations kind of mixed into one, and then it kind of pushed me into, oh, I'll actually try and do freestyle as a further thing, not just playing football, if you know what I mean.
Mm. Was there any like freestyles on YouTube you watched back then that also kind of inspired you to
Yeah,
keep going?
I can't remember specific names, but I'd always be, you know, searching freestyle football, how to do this, how to do this, and there is people, but those guys have kind of like they've left YouTube a long time ago, so a lot of those guys kind of slipped my mind. But oh, absolutely, there was a lot of inspirations, and also, you know, kind of things like Wayne Rooney's Street Striker. That was a TV series in the UK back in
Oh.
the kind of thousands, and Rooney would host the show, and he would be trying to find the best street baller in the UK. So even all these type of things like cemented in my head. I want to do skills. I want to do tricks.
Looking back, you know, a lot of the freestylers, I think they were kind of popular back in like 2008 and onwards.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, like you try to find, some of them maybe stop uploading at all. So it's kind of interesting for me to in kind of investigate and learn more of that stuff. But unfortunately, a lot of people completely deleted their channels
Yeah.
or deleted their all their backlog. So it's kind
It's
of
a
hard
real.
to piece it together, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even people like, you know, I remember back in 2013, I was good friends with F2 freestylers, you know, people like this, F2 freestylers, and even, I know this sounds crazy, but so someone like KSI, right? So KSI was obviously creating football content, and I used to go to the same events, like Adidas events, as your KSIs, as F2 freestylers, as your Sidemen guys, and they were all starting to be interested in like football freestyle and football content. So yeah, that was also very, very cool. And now you've obviously seen a few of those guys go on to, you know, go do crazy things. Um, but you're right, a lot of those original freestyle guys, I think, dropped off because I think they peaked very quickly. They peaked very early, and then it's hard to maintain this for a long, long time and still have that same passion for the same thing. I did a post recently just to kind of remind people that I'm still first and foremost a football freestyler. I might love cards and collectibles, and I like being in that space and understanding that space, but my first love is that. Where a lot of these people, it's very hard to just stick with that one thing, because as you grow and you get older, you realize, oh, I like this and I like this, and I want to try and put this into my content as well. So I think it's very important to be able to please all of your audiences, and a lot of those guys can only please those kind of freestyle audiences, and that's just natural if you only love that one thing, and that's why some of those guys have dropped off as well. So it's very interesting. The scene is incredibly deep, I've got to say. There's a lot of layers to it.
Yeah. That's what kind of interests me learning
Mm.
about the stuff is all the layers and uh, I mean it's kind of crazy. But I remember my first introduction into like freestyling. There was a TV show. It aired on one of the channels here in the States. It was like food Mundial something Mundial, and they had a lot of UK. Like the one of the F2 guys was, I remember, was on there, and there was a guy Dan. I can't remember his.
Was it Magnus?
Yeah. He
He
did
like,
like a lot of stuff through there.
yeah, that's really cool.
So that was, and my cousin, he kind of he was in high school around that time, 2000 like 8, 9. So he started getting into it. So I mean, I didn't know anything about YouTube back then.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
of course.
upload the YouTube videos of him doing this stuff, but I just did some videos just kind of for memory. But yeah, it was back then. It was crazy how big it was. I think it died down. I think way much more now. Maybe
Mhm.
it's not. It probably died out maybe on like YouTube, but still kind of popular like maybe on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's molded more into, as opposed to people just watching freestyle football. I think a lot of the football guys kind of, I think freestyle football is so niche and football is so mainstream that you have to be able to take the freestyle football into the football world as opposed to the football into the freestyle football world, because the two worlds are so different in levels of popularity. So not many people know about football freestyle, but everyone knows about football. So how can you kind of exist in the football world and bring in elements of the football freestyle, which is what I try to do with my content, as you've probably seen. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just a freestyler, but I bring it into the world of football that I do. So
yeah. It's quite interesting how uh, it it developed over the time. And I had a question for you. I know a lot of like freestylers I watched, even now, like Andrew Henderson.
yeah.
They do some like competition stuff. Have you ever done any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I used to go to all of the, so we used to have a UK championships every single year. I mean, it still does exist, but there's a lot of internal politics with the Freestyle Football Federation. It's a very, we won't get into that at the moment, but sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, and it should be a yearly thing. Unfortunately, it's not. But anyway, back in the day, it used to be a yearly thing. I used to go to all of the UK championships. I'd never actually used to compete. I used to always document and film. Um, and put together a video for these guys, your Andrews, your John Farnworths, people like this. I used to be just go and create content and kind of then post it. But me going at that age and kind of making this content really kind of, I got into the circle of these guys. So I'm still like good friends with Andrew Henderson today, you know, all these type of people who are real pioneers. I mean, Andrew Henderson, I don't know how many he's won. I think he won 7, maybe 10 UK championships. I don't even know. But he is the GOAT in the UK of football freestyle for sure, Andrew Henderson. But no, to answer your question, I never directly competed in the competitions. I was just always more interested in creating cool videos around the skills and stuff like that. I think I probably could have competed, especially in probably 2016, 17. I think I was at a very high level. I think I could have, but at that same time, I was starting to do quite well from a business point of view with the EABskills, and it was like, what is going to kind of push me further with my career? Is it really focusing on just a football freestyle show or something like that in the UK, which is very niche, or is it growing my brand to be more part of the football scene? And obviously, I did the right thing, but yeah, I definitely could have competed for sure.
I found you had like another channel. It was like, I think it was called Ewan FS, and it was like four. I think it was only 4 videos.
Yeah.
Have you
Wow.
had any other channels?
Yeah.
Any secret channels?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I actually forgot about that. That's a very. I've never been asked about that in an interview. That's an amazing question. You and FS. Yeah. That's actually really really funny. So when I started creating my EABskills content, I mean, that channel was made 13 years ago. It's a long, long time. I was very interested in doing the free kicks as well, right? So kind of, you know, doing more in-game stuff and free kicks and stuff like that. And I thought, oh, maybe should I do EABskills more as like in-game and kind of like more game stuff, and then have a Ewan freestyle as more hardcore freestyle lowers and kind of, I guess, more show reel stuff to be able to show to like brands who I could do performances for and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that was just one of my many channels that I've had in the past that never went anywhere. I had EAB. This is before EABskills. This is about 2010. I created EAB vids, which is just literally me making random videos. Like I used to do Lego stop frame animations. I used to do random stuff, yeah, all over the place. There was no cohesion to it. It was not this one thing or the other. It was just random stuff. But I think you have to do that because you have to make channels before you make the one that works, because you learn so much about like what I should do, what I like, what I enjoy, how to edit, how to film. Um, so yeah, to answer your question, I have had a couple of channels. Yeah.
What was the name you said? The one that you were just kind of doing the random stuff?
Uh, EAB vids that doesn't exist anymore. That got
Oh,
deleted, unfortunately. I wish it was still on so I could see it, but yeah.
that's funny. Yeah, especially at your age. How old were you back in like 2010?
I was like 11, 12.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes sense when you're still young, you're still figuring out,
But that's what everyone's
life.
doing. Right? Everyone's doing the TikToks at 11, 12, 13, and for us that didn't exist. It was, I mean, YouTube was it was not mainstream in 2010. It was still very kind of weird if you were making YouTube videos. But I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed making my, like, filming something on a camera, putting the SD card into my computer and going on like Windows Movie Maker and going, oh wow, I can actually put these clips together. That was like mind blowing for me. But yeah, it's, you have to set the seeds right for what you want to do in the future and stuff like that. So it was fun.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny because you said the movie Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah.
I started my channel. I think it was towards the end of 2016, and that was my first video editing as well.
Yeah. It's a lot of people's first, mate. Yeah.
On one of your videos, I saw in the description, because I know there's like a lot of people, always in comments, hey, what's your setup? What do you,
Yeah.
especially back then, what music you have? There's always
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
asking that. So I saw you put in the description, I think it was Sony Vegas 3 or
Oh man.
something like that.
That was it. I used to use Sony Vegas. I used to, yeah, I don't use it anymore because I'm on Mac now, so I use Final Cut or I use um Adobe or CapCut. I mean, CapCut's so easy now. I edit a lot of stuff on CapCut, but yeah, back in the day, I used to use Sony Vegas, but it's really weird because on CapCut now, everything is like templated. Like you can do effects very easily. You can do this, that. Mate, we were in the trenches in that period of time because we had to learn every single effect. You had to physically learn it on YouTube. How do I add a light flare into the video? How do I do this? And it was all like so layered and stuff like that just to make one little effect. That's why I have so much respect for like the Modern Warfare 2 montage creators back in the day, right? Because they used to make these sick edits and it was so difficult to make those type of edits on Sony Vegas. So I actually think it's very important to be able to learn how to edit like that because now when I go into a CapCut where everything's just there for me, I go, oh, this is easy. I've got all these creative ideas and I can just go, I don't have to spend time making that on YouTube. I can just drag that effect straight into the video. So I think it gives you a lot of perspective when you've had to use something like that and now you're in a situation with CapCut and stuff like that. So yeah, Sony Vegas, man, good memories.
It's funny, but I have like a cheap version of the Sony Vegas. I'm still using
Yeah,
that. It's a
right.
movie maker, I think, or movie studio, I think the name. And I think the company already like they went under or sold to somebody, so they don't
Oh
even
man.
make anymore. But I got used to it, and I got all my setup there,
Yeah,
so I
man.
don't even want to switch. But
Yeah.
I did use the Copcat for like the vertical stuff because the one I used, the Sony Vegas version one, I it was so complicated to do those verticals.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like,
Yeah,
oh man,
CapCut's great.
Kafka's so piece of cake.
Yeah, it's very good.
I remember I was watching, kind of going through your channel, and I found your first. I think it was like your first collaboration, and you had I think it was Kieran, and then DJ Moore, and then Alex Football
Oh
98. Can you
man,
tell us more about those guys?
for sure. I love these questions. I'm really, really going back into things. This is great. Yeah, Kieran Brown. I mean, I'm sure most people know Kieran Brown. So funny story. Before me and Kieran played in the same football team. We actually live. I mean, I've moved now. Kieran's moved, but we're still very close. But at that time, we lived like literally 5 minutes away from each other. So we used to bike to each other's house to create content. Just I would go to his garden, he'd come to my garden. So we used to play in the same football team, and that was a great original help because he used to film for me. I used to help him film, and you had Dan Moore as well. Dan Moore's actually just had a kid, so I've just
Oh,
recently. I recently saw that, which is amazing. And then Alex. So Alex Fairglynn was an Irish football freestyler.
oh,
Uh, and it was crazy, right? Because back in that day there was genuinely us four, so me, Kieran, Dan, and Alex, as like the UK scene in freestyle. That was it. That was really that was kind of it at that time. And then obviously it grew and what have you quite quickly, but those four guys, they were kind of that was I guess the UK kind of pioneer of that kind of like new style and new wave of young kind of kids creating football freestyle content. So that was really fun. Um, but yeah, like I'm still like pretty much best mates with Kieran to this day. We go and have a coffee every week. We edit together. So that's really cool to still be in touch with Kieran. But Alex I haven't spoke to in maybe 7 or 8 years now, which is crazy. I don't actually know how he's doing. I need to try and reach out to him, but and Dan still lives in my area as well, so I still see Dan very occasionally. But yeah, man, that was really good times. But that was really cool because those times, like today, everything is a business. Like EABskills for me is a business. I'm creating content with big brands, and you have to put together very specific content for these brands. But I always love going back and watching that stuff because it reminds me just why I started. Being creative with the ball, being creative with the different camera angles, pulling together edits, just filming with your friends. There was no structure to it. There was no, oh, I have to do this because the algorithm says so. It was just what we just wanted to film, so we filmed. So yeah, that was really good times. But I'm really glad you brought that up. That's a great question. So
yeah. I was kind of doing research, and like these guys always come up, and the one thing is kind of sad. Alex Football.
yeah,
I think he wiped his like the older videos, so you can't. It's kind of sucks.
I know it's a
Uh,
shame.
it's what do you call it? There's a thing right now on YouTube. Lost media. So to me, like
Yes, yeah.
it's like a lost media now.
Last minute. Alex was really, really good. Alex was a very good freestyler. He had a crazy like match ball collection as well. He had like Team Geists from 2006 World Cup. He had um like really, really cool match ball collection. So that was a big thing for us as well. Like we always used to collect match balls. And it's very, very interesting because each freestyler has a different football that they find best for their style. So for me, it was always the Champions League football. That was always best for my style. That the pattern, the texture, that seemed to work well. But some people like the older balls, like the Team Geists or the Jabulani and things like this. It's all very different. Everyone has a different specific taste, but yeah, there's so much you could go into with that. This is what I mean, how in depth the freestyle scene is, and there's a lot of internal kind of like I guess politics around all this stuff as well. Like if you use a certain ball, then you shouldn't be doing this type of skill. Like there's so many layers to it. But I haven't spoke about this type of stuff for a long, long time. So this is very fun. So
First, I find you under. I don't know if you probably know Knuckleball Twins,
yeah, of course.
and yeah, they're also crazy about the footballs. Like the modern footballs. They're like, okay, there's like a different technique you gotta use
For
to,
sure.
and they're nothing like Jabulani. Like flies like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, they're great guys.
And DJ Moore, he was more like free kicks, right? He wasn't really on the, or was he doing same also freestyling as
He
well?
Dan was a rare breed where Dan was incredibly skilled at hitting a knuckleball basically, or hitting a free kick, but he's also a very good freestyler. Um, so he managed to kind of bridge that gap. He was better than me for sure at bridging the gap between hitting a football and doing skills. Um, but this is it's life. Like I think Dan finished in like 2017. You know, went into like a normal job, as you say, and then kind of just created a life kind of outside of YouTube. So these things happen. There's only really me and Kieran that kind of pulled through and are still doing it, which is crazy now to think about. And me and Kieran have this conversation like we're having like every week when we go for a coffee. We're like, oh, do you remember this? Or do you remember this? And you know, I think me and Kieran are going to get to a point where we're going to start like filming again more and just like recreating a lot of that old content because we kind of like it's only when I speak to someone like yourself or you know people who because I forget that people kind of do know about all the old stuff and you know I see it now a lot of like the new kids who come in they just want to see my cards collectible stuff like this but it is very cool to see that people do kind of remember that old stuff so maybe we have to hit the pitch and recreate some of those old videos. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that's kind of my. I won't say it's a maybe it's a goal. We'll see. We'll see how that go. How it'll go. But is just to document, the whole scene how it was back then.
Yeah,
So maybe the newer kids can see the history. So that's
100%.
what kind of got me interested in it. And I also, when I started my channel in 2016. I don't know if you watched any of my videos. It's mostly I was just doing the highlights between just playing with friends. And then when I started my channel, I didn't really watch, any like football YouTube stuff. But then
Yeah,
once I started uploading, then I started finding, all these
yeah, of
different
course.
niches and different
Yeah,
things. And that's kind of how I fell into it, learning about these and the thing I liked it also, like anytime you go to any of those channels, there's like so many comments. Even though the views might be like under 1,000, but
yeah.
you'll have like 50 views or 50
Oh man.
comments, and
Yeah, we used to be so engaged. Like the community used to be so engaged because there was less people creating content. The people who were creating content, they were getting less views compared to today, but you would get such a bigger community outpouring on each video. You know, I mean, I used to get like 50 to 100 comments on videos, and like now, obviously, I don't get that, but because it's like you change, especially when you change content as well. Like I'm trying very much at the moment to change my kind of content, on, especially on YouTube, more towards your kind of collectibles, but still, I want to be able to be in the freestyle scene as well. But yeah, it's just things change, you know. Things are more reactive. Like I get more views on social media content now, but you know, it's like that's only because more people are online as well and seeing things. So it just changes. Time changes, you know. So
talking about the comments, like how like back then were your kind of day to day like creating videos? Did you have a structure? Because I know you also went to school. How did that
yeah,
all go? Had you
yeah.
had the? Did you actually had a system, or you just kind of went along?
Oh, really. I was at school. I mean, I started in year 10. I don't know what that is in the States. Year 10 is 14 years old here, so I don't know what that is equivalent school wise, but I started in year 10, so that was 14, and then I had school from 14 till at least 17, right? So, and those that was the first 3 years of my channel. So my main focus really was on school, I guess, and then just kind of YouTube was just I just posted whatever and replied to people whenever I could. But um yeah, there was no process. I mean, it was just I used to edit my videos at school. I used to on lunch breaks and just me and Kieran, we went to the same like college as well. So we just used to go on YouTube and at lunchtime and break time and create videos and reply to emails and stuff like that. So there was no real structure, mate. It was just try and work it out.
Yeah, I remember too. When I was when I found out all these different niche, like the free kick niche, I
Yeah.
started going through commenting, and I remember I was working like nights at my work, so I'll be
Right.
like at night I'll be just like watching, and sometimes I wouldn't like even finish the video. I'm like, oh, great free kick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it was good memories. I was gonna talk to you about this channel, footballboots.co.uk.
Yeah,
I've seen like almost it doesn't matter how small, how big, but they it seems like they always collaborated. They didn't care like how much subscribers you had or anything like that. But they're uh, tell us if you. I know you had the experience with them. Kind of tell us
yeah,
the background about these guys.
yeah. Sure. They were actually they were a New Zealand-based company. I know they're called Football Boots UK, but they were actually based in New Zealand. So they used to have I don't know if you ever watched like soccer reviews for you. Josh, he was American actually. And he used to work with them quite closely. So what they used to do is they used to get boots from Adidas, Nike, Puma, sent to them to test and review. They obviously couldn't do all that in house. So what they used to do is they used to reach out to the community like myself, people like I said, Josh, soccerreviewsforyou.com, and just send us a pair of boots and just say, look, do you want to make a video? So go for it. So I think I made a couple of videos with them. And there was no real like you didn't have to you could just do it in your style and then send it back to them and they would just put it on their website basically. Looking back at it when you think about it now, it's like it's a great marketing strategy because they used to just get free content from all of us. And but it is what it is. Like I at that point in my life I was super excited to get just a free pair of boots. I was thinking more of like a business point of view, but so I was really grateful to be able to get the boots and to create content in them. And I've still got a couple of the pairs of boots today, I think, in my storage from that. So that was really fun, and they put on an event as well. This is a good one. If you're trying to get into the history of all this, they put in an event in 2017 at the Barnet Stadium in London. So they flew over from New Zealand and they asked like 30 UK creators to come down and be part of this day. And we just used to film together and kind of have like a massive get together with the community. But there was people like myself, Kim Football, LDN Movements, Jack Downer, Knuckleball Twins, Dan Cutting, all these people in one place. We just created content. There's actually still a lot of that content on YouTube today, so that was really fun. But they were just another one of those businesses who just had boots and they would send them out to people to create content. But they didn't focus on the numbers; they just focused on people who could actually create, I guess, a good piece of content. That was it.
Yeah, because I've noticed like somebody might have even had like under 100 and they still you
Yeah.
know got something from. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I wish businesses do it right now, but
It's just different nowadays, man. It's just different. But you have to remember, even like 100 subscribers back in 2013 was equivalent to probably like 1,000 now, because of the way that there's, the biggest YouTuber at that time was like PewDiePie, who had like 3 or 4 million subscribers. Now you look at Mr. Beast, the difference in levels. So you have to remember, like, I remember when I hit like 5,000 subscribers, that today is like that seems like 100,000, right? Whereas like nowadays, 100,000 is a lot easier to get to. It's all just changed massively. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember. It's yeah, the subscribers now is just. The other thing is like I've noticed the longer you are on YouTube, also uh, you just have like a bunch of dead subscribers.
oh, 100%, 100%. I've got loads from back in the day, like people who subscribed in 2013 and obviously aren't even on YouTube anymore. So it's just the way it is. There's nothing really you can do about it. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's cool. Well, thanks for sharing that one. Because I was really, these guys, I think they're over 1 million subscribers now on YouTube. Last time I
yeah,
checked,
I'll try
but
and find it for you and send it to you on Instagram.
yeah, it's just crazy how much impact they had on on the scene back then.
And
I also, the other thing I've noticed, like a lot of, especially like people in UK, but sometimes even outside, is this like how you have like your banner design, and I've noticed there's this guy Peak Graphics, I think it's, and tell us more about that.
oh wow. So yeah, that's crazy, man. There's some crazy cool references in this piece of content. His name's Adam. So Adam Peak Graphics. He was a really, really good friend of the community. So he was just I don't actually know where he came from. He just was in the community and he used a graphics designer and he used to make all our content. So we used to have like this kind of Skype community as well. Like so all the UK guys would jump on like literally every day, every night, would jump on Skype. And there'd be like 15 UK YouTubers, like football YouTubers. We'd all jump on Skype and we'd play like GTA Online. So that was like we always play FIFA Pro Clubs and stuff like that. And Adam was always in that circle as well. And Adam obviously got so much business from all of us because he was just making everyone's banner, and he was incredibly skilled, like incredibly good for especially for that time. He then moved out of graphics design and into the more corporate world, and he's doing incredibly well for himself now. I actually still speak to him to this day, but yeah, that's where Adam came from, and he was just part of the community, the kind of wider community, you know.
Was he charging you guys anything, or was he just doing it for free and like, hey?
I mean, he would charge us on bigger projects, but like pretty much it was all just we would help him out, he'd help us out because we would obviously all promote him and he would get more business off the back of us anyway. So, but then on bigger projects, I always used to he always used to charge me on the bigger projects, which I always said, look, charge me on this please, because his stuff is good and that. But yeah, Adam's a really cool guy.
Oh, cool.
Mm.
There's also another guy I've noticed. I think he's more like kind of in your sphere, uh, and he's I tried to look up any like videos, but I think his completely channel's gone. I think it was uh something gaming, Mr. Gaming Geek or something like that.
Yeah.
You still friends with him, or how did you guys came?
Yeah, he just used to be in like helping film content really. But no, not really. Again, a lot of these people just you come and go and that's it. But yeah, they were just in the scene filming content and that was it really. But mate, there's a lot of these people who, like you said, they just kind of come and go and that's it really.
Yeah, that's unfortunately, yeah, it's lost media now.
Exactly.
Hope,
Yeah.
hopefully somebody will be to recover some of that.
Yeah.
Now, there's you guys kind of did this little project, TheLineup. Let's who was kind of the brainchild of that one, and just tell us the whole story, if
Sure.
as much details as possible.
Yeah, so the lineup started between it was myself and a guy called Jack Morgan. So we are the brain children, I guess, behind it. So I used to go to the event called Insomnia. I don't know if you know that. It was like a gaming festival in the UK in 2015-ish. Sidemen used to go, different creators used to go, and me and Jack Morgan used to go, and we kind of went the one time and we saw all this hype around Sidemen, and the Sidemen were so small at that point, but they still had so much hype. And we were like, well, we're all friends internally in the UK football scene, like why don't we just create like a bit of a group? And this was between like more of the kind of close friends. There was like 7 or 8 of us, like very close friends. We created the lineup. Obviously we asked some other people as well to join. They didn't want to join, and that's what it is, but we kind of cemented this 7 or 8 group. And you know what's funny, I'm going to show you something that no one's seen. Where are we? So we still have a group chat, right? Called, hold on, Lineup 2025.
5 members.
And there's only 5 of us now, but we still speak every single day in this WhatsApp group chat. But we created the lineup because I think we all we all had different skills. Like there was football freestylers in there, there was free kick specialists, there was boot review guys, there was, you know, people like Kieran who could create really cinematic videos and kind of bridge that gap. So we did that, and it's probably the biggest regret for us that we were a bit too early. It was too early in our careers to really kind of push it forward. We were all, again, 15, 16. We were in school, we were in college, we were doing our A levels in the UK, which is the big exams, and you know, we didn't have that time to really, if we were doing it now and we had all the time and resource and knowledge as well to really go like, we'll give this a real go for a year, I honestly think we would have been as big as like a lot of the groups out there, because we had so much momentum. And mate, we gained like, we hit like 100k followers in like 3 months on Instagram, which was like just incredible. And we had like a posting schedule, like let's say Cam would post on a Monday, Ben Black would post on a Tuesday, I would post on a Wednesday, something like that. We went out to Madrid all together, and we went to Barcelona all together. We got invited by a brand to compete in this tournament as TheLineup. We had our own merchandise at that time. We had shirts. I actually still got some of those shirts here. I've actually just moved house, and I was going through a lot of my old stuff, and I found them in the garage, like lineup shirts. So I was like, nah, that's got those. So yeah, so we were just creating content, but the big issue with the lineup was we just didn't have the money to be able to meet up all the time, with because everyone was across the country, so it took time to be able to get everyone together. Everyone lived with their parents, so we couldn't just go, yeah, we'll all just kind of crash at his house or his house. So that didn't exist. And when you don't have money to then get hotels or whatever it is, it's very difficult to meet up. Everyone's schedules were all over the place, like I said, with exams. But yeah, it's probably my biggest regret is that we didn't manage to push that further, because I really do think if it was today, and we were all in that kind of same community today, we would have been able to really push that far. But we still chat to this day, and every single year we go, should we bring it back this year? Should we bring it back this year? But still to this day, it hasn't happened. But it could do. Pound Precision, and if you, I'm sure you know Cam, but Cam is very, very desperate to bring back the lineup. So yeah, we'll see. Maybe at some point. I mean, to be honest, this year is our 10-year, would have been our 10-year anniversary. So maybe we'll get a video out this year. We'll see.
Yeah, I think I saw maybe a few days ago, Cam, he posted the thing, I think it was a lineup on his Instagram post, and I commented, I was like, oh yeah, that was legendary, and he replied saying something, oh, we're still friends offline.
Yeah, we are we're still friends. It's crazy because I feel like I trust those guys more than anyone, because they're the only people who have really kind of like, who can really understand what we've all kind of managed to do in the last 10 years. So yeah, so it's a really cool, it's a cool community. We do need to meet up and make a video. So if we do, I'll send you I'll send you a message and say, look, you got any questions for the lads? I'll ask them for you. So
yeah, that'll be great, man. I'll really appreciate it. And hey, if you guys make it to US, we should do some kind of lineup reunion or something.
Coming next year for the World Cup. I know me and Cam are coming out to the US for the World Cup.
Oh, awesome! I actually got 3 weeks off in July, so it's like first 3 weeks in July, basically pretty much the knockout rounds all the way to the final. So we gotta do something, man.
For sure. That sounds good.
Who was like editing? Were you guys just individually editing your stuff for the lineup, or was you guys had like somebody actually doing that?
No, it was individual. So let's say if it was Cam's day to post on Instagram, he would create today's piece of content. Or I think we used to do on, I think the lineup YouTube is still there. So I'm just checking it out now. Yeah, we used to do like one video per week that was like a highlight of each person, I think. So if it was my week, I think I would like make my piece of content. If it was Jack Morgan's week, he would make his piece of content. But we used to have like a daily schedule in a spreadsheet, which would go like, right, Cam's posting today or whatever it is. So yeah, we'd kind of just make our own stuff really and then post it. But we used to try and come together like every 3 months and have like a meetup. A lot of those videos are still on YouTube. They're legendary videos, man, like the lineup meetup videos. So we used to do that like every 3 months, and we'd all kind of edit our own lineup video and then post them on our channel. So yeah, man, it was really good times. Genuinely, really, really good times. So
So did the all of you guys had the access to that channel, right?
yeah, all of us. Yeah,
Oh,
I think I'm still this now. Yeah.
that's cool.
Mm.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those like meetups, and sometimes you guys had not only like the lineup. Sometimes you guys had other guys kind of join you on not it wouldn't be consistently, but at some like on one meetup you'll have like maybe like knuckleball twins. At the other one you had somebody else.
Yeah,
Tell us some memorable ones, maybe meetups.
yeah. I mean, mate, there's some great times. We used to have it was really weird. Like we used to open the meetups to fans as well, right? So fans could come and just have a football session with us, totally for free. Like we'd just rent out the Astro or whatever it is. And um, the one, I think it was the lineup meet. I think it was 2016. It was at Taunton, which is Cam's area, and we had like 40 people show up. And this was like insane for us because at that time, like it was very hard to kind of market yourself because there was no algorithm. It was like you had to find a channel, right? So that was just insane. That was a really, really cool meetup. And I think that at that point we were like selling the shirts as well on the days, and we were like, wow, like this could really be something here. But again, that year, that 2016 year, that was the year that we all left college. So then we all technically then became adults, right? And you have to then go and get a job and you have to do this. So as good as that year was, that was also the kind of like we all kind of turned into adults and moved on. But there were some great times, like Knuckleball Twins came down, like you said. A lot of the kind of old guys like SP9 Football, different people like that would turn up. Again, I'm still friends with a lot of these people today. But yeah, no, it was fun. There was some great times to those meetups. There's loads of videos online. I've got videos on a hard drive as well from back in the day. I'll have to try and find out and share with you.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be great, man.
Yeah.
Uh, there was one guy I found. He commented like religiously, I think, a lot of your videos, but he was like way like old timer, and I think it was FC Dali or something like that.
Oh, Rich Daly. Yeah. Oh man. Rich is one of my best friends. Like he's still I don't speak to him as much now just because life is life. But so Rich was a big part of the community. Rich would play with us like GTA every day, like pro clubs. Um, so Rich was really cool. Rich is like OG man. Like there was OGs. It was like Rich Daly. It was like Budweiser as well. Jolter football, free kickers. Iziasu or something like that. Iyasu. So there was these kind of like five shoot and thrill. I mean, Louis Cabet's, US one of the greatest probably US football creators. Brandon Bianchi. There was this old kind of group of like seven or eight OGs who kind of like pre-existed even us, but they were kind of from like 2007 to like 2011, 12. And the majority of them were just free kick takers. I mean, some of the free kicks they were taking. I mean, VV Bass VV. I don't know if you remember him. Big dude, like absolute legend. He came to a couple of meets as well. That was amazing. But yeah, they were OGs, and Rich especially. I had a very good relationship with, and he'd always kind of be in and around that scene as well. So that was really fun.
Yeah, learning about him. The only thing is, again, like there's hardly any videos, and
It's like
like you said, he was back in like 2009, 10, and but there's like hardly anything. So we need to get on him to maybe release some of this old stuff.
100%. I can get some stuff from Rich for sure.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it because I was looking up some those like way old OGs, and they had this group, Free Kick Nations. I don't know if you
Mm.
heard of. And I don't know how the mechanics went. You know how because I wasn't there. I
Yeah.
just the channel still exists there, and it was like back in 2009, and they would just kind of like compilation of some of the great free kicks that they were taking, and FC Dali was always in there, but
I know.
I wasn't sure if he like organized the whole thing because it seems like I found somewhere I had to look up like on the one of those like archival, like
Mm.
internet archive thing, and he was talking to somebody saying, "Hey, where's your footage? Give it me the footage," or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been. I mean, Rich was a good editor as well. He was like one of the early editor guys. It might have been. I don't know too much about that channel, to be fair. But yeah, I just know the OG free kick takers were different level, man. They were so good.
Talking about the OGs, I also found one of your. I actually went on Budoiza channel,
Mm.
and he had this like favorite playlist, and he had like over like around 700, 800 videos in there, and I was kind of going through, and then I found one of your videos there, but I think it was unlisted, but it still showed up on the
Oh
unlisted
wow.
videos still show up on the playlist, and I think it was one of your like super edits, and it was called Still. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah. Still.
And I saw Buduiza, he made a comment on that video, like he was like, "Man, this is great video," or something. Like he was really impressed with that. Have you actually had a conversation with Buduiza other than just the comments?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Weezer was the best way I can describe him is very elusive. You I probably spoke to him maybe like once every 2 years. But that was only because he was very hard to kind of even get in contact with. It was like Batman. Like I'm not joking. He was like this guy who would leave a comment just on a random video and then you wouldn't hear from him for 2 years and then he'd leave another comment and it was like I'd sometimes text him on like Facebook Messenger or something like that, like just to catch up. Yes, bro, how's it going, or something like that. But he was a very elusive character. I think still to this day, I think maybe he posted his last video like 9 years ago or something and never posted again. That's just Budweiser. And then, but I wouldn't put it past him to release a video tomorrow and just be like, and does won't even mention the fact he hasn't posted for 9 years, and he'll just make a video now and then he'll just start again. Like he's a very interesting character. Yeah, but I don't have a huge amount to say about Budweiser. It's just very interesting, man. Very interesting.
I think on that video, you said something. Hey, thanks for the donation or something like that.
Ah, yes, because now I remember. So I did a 24-hour charity live stream where I just was online for 24 hours. We was like playing GTA, playing for pro clubs, live for 24 hours. And he made a donation to that. That's what I mean. He wouldn't really interact, but then he would make a really kind gesture and just donate something, like it was very such an interesting character, man. I'd love to actually have a sit down conversation with Buds nowadays and just go like, yeah, I'd love to pick his brain like you're doing here. It'd be very interesting.
You're not the only one, man.
Mate, you can. I think you need to start a channel where you try and get all these guys back together and try and get them all posting again and
Uh,
archive all.
that would be my goal, man. That would be like
Yeah,
the peak of the goal, but
yeah,
Slash is changes things up. So yeah, that'll be awesome, man. That'll be like the craziest idea. But it's funny because I found on his it was like I don't know because back then I wasn't on YouTube back then, so I'm
Mm,
guessing the favorite playlist, it was like whatever you could mark your favorite and it would just put it in that playlist, and then over time, because YouTube changed so much, it just kind of kept that playlist. But then I checked it recently, and that playlist is gone from his channel. So I'm like, man.
yeah, it's very weird. Like back in the day, if a YouTuber added you to their favorite playlist, or if they added you to their kind of um there was a favorite channels tab as well. So if you got added to that and someone else's, like you would grow a lot of subscribers. It's like weird today, nobody cares, but like that was like a mark of, oh, I respect this dude. Or, say if, I remember when Free Kickers added me on their list of like favorite guys, and it was like, oh wow, now I'm like almost like authenticity stamped by a Free Kickers or someone like that. It was very weird. And then I started doing it with my friends and then putting them on mine, and then they would be feel the same, like, oh, sick, like, Ewan kind of respects the content or whatever it is. And that's kind of how it works. But yeah, like you said, that just doesn't exist anymore, because everyone is like so like, next thing. Like people sit and watch a video before and really respect it. Like now it's a lot different, but again, times change.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's I think it was Sammy from Knucklebolt once. He
Mm,
also released a like kind of podcast episode a while back, and he was saying something. It was one of his videos where it was like fake or real free
yeah,
kick, and he posted it, but then he also, I guess back then people used to like send their best clips to the free
yeah,
kickers,
yeah. Clip of the
and
week.
he also did that, and I think he said they went and liked the video, and it showed up on their uh, tab or something. So a lot of people went to, and he got a bunch of subscribers just from that.
Yeah, they
And
used to.
also once he's got his video on one of their best whatever episodes, he also got more subscribers
Mate,
from that.
I remember Free Kickers sharing one of my videos on Facebook, and I got 5,000 subscribers from a Facebook share, which is just insane. And the link isn't even in the top line of the description; it's like in the bottom, and you would get 5,000 subscribers like that. That's how different it is now. Um, that was always the goal, is to get your clip on Free Kickers every week, because you knew if you get top spot, like you're gaining like a lot of subscribers. It's so different now, man. Like it's actually so interesting how different it is.
So have you? What was your kind of conversation or with the free kickers? Have you actually had like contacts with them pretty good, or?
Yeah. Yeah. So Konzi Wu used to run Free Kickers. I've still got him on Facebook, I think. And yeah, we used to chat very occasionally, I used to be that guy who would send him content, go, hey Konzi, do you like this video? Or, how could I make this better? And you have to remember, like at that point, he was like a grown man. I was like 14, 15. I don't really know what I'm doing. And I just used to sit like, is this any good? Is this any good? So I can imagine it was quite annoying. But over the years, then, I've still kind of, I guess, maintained that relationship. I haven't spoke to Konzi in like a long time, but I don't think Konzi is involved with free kicks anymore, to be fair. So it's it's one of those things.
Yeah, I see them on Instagram, and there's a couple of guys. He's not featured on it much, I guess, but there's other guys that kind of still post videos on there, but
Yeah,
it's it's still doing pretty well number wise. I mean, it's not like back 5 6 years ago
yeah,
numbers, but it's I still subscribe to them. I still like their stuff. My only regret is because when I was starting, the people were still doing that when I started
mm,
on YouTube, and I was kind of like, I didn't want to like release my stuff. I'm like, this is my stuff.
yeah,
I was kind of protective of it, and I'm kind of regretting that. I'm like, man, I wish I just let them have it.
yeah. No, that's cool. It's good times, man.
Yeah, yeah, it was good memories for sure. Uh, I've noticed on your channel, so like 2018 that's when kind of like things started kind of died down on YouTube.
Yeah,
Kind of tell us what happened. What was the? Did you
I
start doing something else or?
yeah. So 20 at that time, I kind of started. going into work, I guess. So I went into a job where I was like basically running a business's social media as an apprentice. So I was doing that, and at that time, I guess it was weird. Like you kind of had from 2013 to about 2017, where it was a big boom of football, and it was kind of people started to grow. F2 became mainstream. STR Skill School was about free kickers, and these guys became mainstream. And then it started to slow down slightly, I think, towards 2018 time, and that also coincided with me just not being as interested, I guess, at that point because I'm growing as a person. I needed to go into work to earn money, so that kind of happened. But I also found Instagram as a platform where I can be a bit more like reactive, and I can be a bit more I can film like 10 videos in one day and then release them over the next week, as opposed to just making one video in 1 week and releasing it on YouTube. So I just turned it into being a bit more Instagram focused. So that's when I kind of started to grow a little bit on Instagram, and then just kind of went from there. But that's kind of how it really, that's probably my biggest regret, is not really continuing with YouTube. But then again, it's hard to have regrets when at that time it just suited me better to move over to Instagram more and grow my stuff on Instagram, because I don't think I would have grown as a short form content creator without that, and you have to be able to create short form nowadays, because it's just so popular now. Everyone's got this in vertical, and you have to be able to make content like that. So that's the only reason really why I stopped. But yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed it was a sudden shift. I've noticed it too. I think it might have even started like in 2017, I would say, like maybe late 2017. And I think it was Cam. He made this video back in 2018. He was kind of frustrated with the Instagram, I think.
I remember, yeah.
And he was saying something like, "Hey, like there was like on Instagram, you mostly just it was kind of like brand deals, right? That's kind of mostly how you make money." And a lot of these people, they just like clip farmers, right? I mean, it's still going on now.
Yeah, that was a big thing actually in it's very interesting. 2018, that was probably also a big shift more towards making social content, because you'd have these big channels like, I'm not naming any names, but they used to just rob your content and then put their own watermark over the top of it. And obviously they would gain the followers from that content onto their page, and the people who are actually making the content like wouldn't gain anything from that. So I think there was a big frustration there. But yeah, it's just one of those things as well. Like I think 2018, a lot of people maybe just died off slightly from the football community, because we'd had a strong like 4 years, and then you have to remember we were all kind of between the ages of 14 and 18 at that time, and you're such a different person at 18 and 14, right? 18, you want to go out more, you want to explore the world a little bit more. At 14, you may be hyper focused on just being, a freestyle or whatever it is. So I think that's what happened. And like you said, you'll probably see a lot of people maybe just dropped off at like 2018-ish, 2017, and then have maybe came more onto the social media stuff, because you could be a bit more quicker with making content and posting content,
Yeah, because I think from what I remember, YouTube, like when I started it, the monetization thing was already on for me when I just started brand new. But then they started introducing I think first it was like 10,000 views, and then they after a while, that was the thing that pissed me off. Kind of like put a little like punch in my stomach. Was I was like, all right, I can get the 10,000 views. And then by the time I got there, they changed the rules again, and it was like 1,000 subscribers or something like that, and then so many watch hours. So after that, you're like, man, that's impossible goal.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know, like YouTube's one of those things. If you like, you can get one video that gets a lot of money, but it then it's hard to make every single video earn a lot of money. But again, it's like it's not really the point for me. It's like that's why I've always done it, is just to be creative and make something cool, as opposed to like, oh, we'll earn X amount from this video if I do it this way. You know, it's just it is.
And also back then, like the shorts, like it is now on YouTube, there was nothing, nothing
Yeah,
like that on YouTube back then. So
yeah.
tell me about the shorts, because you kind of start more doing the shorts, and also TikTok, right?
Mhm.
Were you at the same time doing the TikTok and Instagram?
Um, yeah, I started TikTok when it was Musically. I don't know if you remember that. That was like 2017-ish. So it's about the same time as Instagram. Um, but I've really focused on TikTok as a place where I'm actually creating bespoke content for TikTok only the last maybe 2 or 3 years. I mean, you know, that's where all my football stadium content come from, the wholesome content, the Panini content, all that has kind of come from thinking a bit more narrative based with short form TikTok content. So that's kind of where I've really have started to gain success on there. So yeah, I mean, and then Instagram, I've always tried to keep it more like skills based, like more specifically football stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, because I think since you start doing the shorts, you're like the subscriber. That's when you reach
Yeah.
the
Oh god.
100,000, right?
Yeah, that's just one of those things. Like the more content you post on a platform, the more subscribers you'll get. You know, I really wasn't posting content up until I was consistently posting like every day with shorts. Um, but yeah, it's more. You know, I think I wanted to get to 100K subscribers, and then kind of then look at my content and then start making my longer form stuff and being a bit more specific with what I really want to do. That's kind of where it was at really with the shorts. But shorts is just another platform to share your content, really.
Tell me more about the Panini connection. How did the you're I saw a video you were saying that you're ambassador to Panini.
Yeah,
How did you get that connection? Tell us the story.
yeah, sure. There was I created a video in 2023. I got sent some free Panini stickers from an agency. I'm a big Wolves fan myself, so I go to Wolves games and I just put these stickers in my pocket. And I thought I'd just give them out to a kid, right? You know, because I get quite a few fans at Wolves come up to me because they know me from Wolves and whatever it is. I thought I'll just give these out. And as I was walking to the game, I decided, you know what? Actually, I'll make a piece of content where if if a kid can find a Wolves player, I'll go and buy him something from the club shop. Um, and that's exactly what I did. And it was just like the perfect kind of storm, you know, when everything comes together and it's just perfect. So it was a kid with his granddad, and it was his first ever game of football. And I was like, this couldn't, I couldn't write this script any better. And he found a Wolves player in the last pack or something like that. And I took him and he got his first ever shirt, and it was just a great piece of content. And that got picked up by news outlets. It got like millions of views on across my socials and so that. And I was like, "Oh, maybe I could be onto something here." It's one of those things where you sometimes just fall into something and then it becomes, you know, something bigger. Um, so then I just started making content like in that similar fashion for the next couple of months. And my manager at the same manager I've got now, but my manager Hayden was collating all that content and sending it off to Panini and saying, "Look, we're creating this really cool content. Do you maybe want to work together and do some campaigns?" And it took about 3 months trying to just constantly get in touch with Panini and stuff like this. And when we eventually got in touch, Panini absolutely loved it. And kind of since then, I've been working with them. So it's nearly about 3 years now, and that's just kind of continued. And we've kind of grown together, and they've given me product and access, and you know, I've created them really cool content, and we've got a really busy 2 months coming up with Panini, so there's going to be some great content dropping with them.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
The thing I was thinking also, back then, like there was like a lot of drama, stuff like that. Was there anything going on, during the heydays of the football community, or was
Yeah,
it kind of they were pretty good at holding it down?
it's one of those like internally inside the community we all had group chats and stuff, and we were all kids, man, so we would all argue, or we'd all say, "Oh, you know, you're stealing my content," or, you know, "That's my idea," and stuff like that. But that's only because we were all like again, like young teenagers. We weren't adults, and we weren't thinking like. But there was never any kind of online content. We all got on, really well. It was just like best mates kind of arguing occasionally, but it was never anything crazy. Not like some of the drama alert stuff you would always see back in the day. But yeah, there's nothing really there, to be honest.
That's fair.
Mhm.
Fair point. I've noticed you in August. You kind of slowly started getting back into the long form content.
Yeah.
What's your goal, man? What's the plan?
I think my goal is to be kind of seen as the go-to guy in the card scene for sports cards, but also who the go-to guy who can create narrative-led content in that scene, alongside being able to be the only person who can also do that, but also is incredibly good at football skills and be able to kind of mold those two worlds into one. So that's the kind of plan with it. The plan is to kind of do a year of content on long form, and then to work out what's performing well, what isn't. And then after a year, I'll then kind of go in, look at all that and go, right, we need to do more of this, and then be a bit more structured with it. So I just want to post for a year and see what works, from a long form point of view. But I'm really enjoying the long form stuff. It's a lot of work to try and get a video out. I mean, I'm trying to get one out every Wednesday. It's not always possible just because of schedules, but it is a lot of work. But after a year, like I said, I'll look at it and go, this has worked, this hasn't, and then kind of go from there, from that point.
That's pretty good plan. That's what I was thinking when I start watching you post. I'm like, you're just playing around with it, and so I was like, it's pretty cool. I really enjoy all the cool cards. I'm not really like into collecting
Yeah.
cards per se, but I still enjoy the content.
Thank you. Yeah, that's really really cool to hear.
So I hope you keep going. I know it's kind of hard to, always hit that Wednesday
It
thing,
is.
but I understand, man.
Yeah,
That's why I never had a schedule because I'm like, man, I don't think I'll.
I know. Very difficult.
For me, it seems like I don't know how people did it back, because back then people post like every day or something like vlogs. Remember those days?
I know, man. Yeah, daily vlogs. Yeah.
I'm like, man, you're crazy. I don't know how people do that. It's just
Yeah,
like you create video and then you edit it, post it, create, post. It's like,
I know.
uh,
Crazy.
yeah, there was some crazy times. I remember I had I don't know if you've seen on my channel. I did one collaboration that was kind of local. This kid, he uh, he didn't have that many subscribers, but we still made a video together, just kind of for fun of it mostly. And I was telling him about, like when I started on the channel, like, hey, have you heard of Casey Neistat? Have you heard of like these guys? He's like, what? Who?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, I still love Casey's videos to this day. I still go and watch all that content. I actually, when every time I go to New York, I'm going back to New York in January, and every time I go, I always go to his office and like just see it. So
yeah, I remember I kind of when I started it, because I also wasn't sure, what to grow, what, because I didn't know nothing about editing. I kind of learn as I go, kind of. So and then I stumble upon his stuff, and I'm like, oh man, I should do this. I should do this.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a great kind of, I would say, inspiration back then.
for a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah, there was a even local. There was a couple of guys locally. They started, the everyday vlog thing, but then like it's maybe a year and a half, and then these guys completely
yeah, it happens, man.
completely disappeared.
Pretty good.
There was yeah, there's just a lot of history, and I'm kind of been learning more, and I wanna to anyone line up from the old lineup, or anybody wanna hit me up,
Oh,
let me
yeah,
know.
put them in touch with you for sure. I mean, Cam will have a conversation, absolutely. So I can put him in touch with you. The other guys might be a bit more difficult because they're not as how do I say it? They're not as used to doing, I guess, podcasts or interviews. But Cam will 100% have a chat. So I'll get
this is my first time too. I'm kind of still stumbling.
yeah. No, absolutely. You know, it's been really nice because when I do this stuff, a lot of people don't ever talk about the old stuff. It's always about like they kind of think that I started a couple of years ago. So it's very cool to kind of delve back into that archive and have a good conversation about it. But yeah, I'll ask Cam and see if he's interested.
I actually had one more thing I was gonna ask you.
Sure.
It seems like you and Cameron, like this past year, you guys had some injuries, been going through some like surgery. I think you had a surgery. He also had some issue. How'd you go through that? Tell us the story.
Yeah, it's been really difficult actually. I think well, Cam did his Achilles in January, so he ruptured his Achilles in January, and then since then it hasn't been right. There keeps being issues with it, so he's not fully recovered at all yet. So his goal is just to obviously get back, kind of running first, and then thinking about knuckleballs after that. You know, my surgery, yeah, but it still took me out for 6 months. I've only just kind of got back into freestyle and kind of get back into that stuff, but it's a long road. I mean, it's again, you know, we are getting older. Like I'm 27, Cam's 28. You know, we're not as our bodies aren't recovering as quickly as they used to. I remember I used to be able to go and do a freestyle session when I was 15 and not warm up, not cool down, and just go to sleep the next day and do it. Nowadays, I have to be able to recover properly and stuff like that. But I think we're getting there. It is just a long process, you know, with the injuries. But yeah, thanks for asking. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 41 now, man. I go play pickup. Actually, I just got hit in the leg last time we played, and I'm like still wobbling.
Oh man, yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to play this week. I'm like, man, it's much tougher
Yeah,
when you get old, man. But
absolutely.
it's just the love for the game. You just like I wanna get back to it. It's good
Yeah,
exercise too. It like, keep you know fit. I
for
mean, I
sure.
think because most of my job was just kind of office type job, so
Okay.
it's not there's not much exercise there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Your Wolves connection.
Yeah.
Are you still? Because I had to look up on the camera. I wasn't sure on the map. I wasn't sure where Wolverhampton. It's kind of like central England,
Yeah.
kind of closer to the Wales, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you still live there, or you?
Yeah. I still I'm 15 minutes away from Molineux, which is Wolves' stadium. Um, so yeah, so it's kind of I'd say Wolverhampton is kind of almost just above Birmingham. Um, and then it's about an hour, it's about 50 minutes to an hour to Wales. So you are pretty close to Wales. But you have to remember, like, the UK is obviously so small compared to the US that an hour to Wales is actually quite a long, like, you actually can travel quite a way in the UK within an hour. Obviously, an hour, like for you, I presume you're from Idaho, right? With the
Yeah.
name. So I guess an hour, you're not even outside of Idaho, probably. You're not even anywhere near, I guess, I don't know. What was I even trying to say here? But what I'm trying to say is the UK is a lot smaller. So the Midlands is actually closer to Wales than probably a lot of people think. Yeah.
Are you connected with the club at all, or?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been a fan all my life. I've been a season ticket holder there for 10 years now in the same seat. So we make content together sometimes. But I make more content through kind of your third parties who are associated with Wolves. So your businesses like JD Sports or you know, kind of Guinness, you know, the Premier League and stuff like this, who then know I'm a Wolves fan, and then we go and do stuff at Wolves' ground. But I've done a few projects with Wolves as well. That's been really fun. But we're terrible. Like, we suck so bad. So
Yeah, I mean, you guys kind of started same last year, so hope
I
there's
know.
the hope.
I know. We'll see. We'll see. Who do you support?
uh, I'm a more a Chelsea guy.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
It was a struggle last few years.
Yeah.
Actually, my video, so in 2021, I kind of decided to do something different. So I did a reaction to the Champion League final
Okay.
match, and that blew up. And I was my most watched video until my I did a review of the setting up the goals. Until that just overpassed it.
Oh, nice. 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 Cool, man.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, man. I appreciate you coming over. Yeah, thanks, man.
Nice
I'll
one.
talk to you later.
Yes. Take care. Bye bye.